Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Shocking twist in Port Charles. Anna's disappearance uncovers a chilling mystery. Is the woman Jason found really dead? GH fans question everything as Faison's shadow returns to haunt the hospital. The peaceful facade of General Hospital has shattered once again, leaving Port Charles residents reeling from shocking revelations that have turned their world upside down. In what can only be described as one of the most disturbing twists in recent memory, beloved character Anna Devane has vanished without a trace, and the truth behind her disappearance has sent shockwaves through the entire community. Even more terrifying is the revelation that someone everyone believed to be long dead may have orchestrated the entire ordeal. The disappearance. It started like any other day at General Hospital. Anna Devane, the seasoned commissioner and former spy, was going about her business when suddenly she went silent. No calls, no messages, no sign of her anywhere. The initial concern was mild. Anna was known for being independent and occasionally mysterious, but as hours turned into days, the alarm bells grew louder. For those who cared about Anna most, the silence became deafening. Her colleagues at the police department began checking hospitals and known safe houses. Friends reached out with increasing desperation, only to receive the same haunting response. Nothing. It was as if Anna had simply evaporated from existence. She would never just disappear like this. One family member confided to close friends. Anna always lets someone know where she is. This is completely out of character. The first real concern came when Jason Morgan realized he couldn't reach her. Jason, who had worked closely with Anna on countless cases, immediately recognized the gravity of the situation. His mind raced through the possibilities, none of them good. Something's wrong, Jason told those around him, his voice cutting through the uncertainty. Anna wouldn't go dark without a reason. She knows better than that. Jason's desperate search. Unable to shake the feeling that Anna was in serious danger, Jason decided to take matters into his own hands. He couldn't wait for bureaucratic processes or official investigations to move at their usual snail's pace. Every second mattered, and Jason understood that better than most. He began tracking leads, following every possible thread that might point him toward Anna's location. His methods were unconventional, sometimes bordering on illegal, but Jason had never been one to play by the book when lives were at stake. He contacted his network of informants, called in favors from people in the shadows, and combed through every piece of information he could gather. "I'm going to find her," Jason said with steely determination, his jaw clenched tight. No matter what it takes. The search consumed him. Days blended together as Jason pursued every rumor, every tip, every whisper of information that might lead him to Anna. He barely slept, barely ate, driven by the conviction that Anna was in grave danger and that he was running out of time. The horrifying discovery. The break in the case came from an unexpected source. A tip led Jason to a remote location, and what he found there would change everything. In an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Port Charles, Jason discovered a body. His heart sank. It was Anna, or at least, it appeared to be. The body was in an advanced state of decomposition, making identification difficult. But everything about the scene screamed tragedy. Jason, who had seen his share of dark situations, felt his knees weaken. Despite his extensive experience with violence and danger, the thought of losing Anna shattered something inside him. "No, no, this can't be happening," Jason whispered, his voice barely audible. His hands shook as he carefully approached the body, hoping desperately that somehow he was wrong, that this wasn't really her. But the evidence suggested otherwise. Personal items were scattered around the scene, things that belonged to Anna. Jewelry she always wore. Clothing she had been seen in just days before. The signs all pointed to one conclusion. Anna was dead. The grief that washed over Jason was overwhelming. He had lost so many people in his life, but this felt different. This felt wrong. Anna was supposed to be stronger than death itself. She had survived so much assassinations, betrayals, impossible odds, only to end up like this, discarded in an abandoned warehouse like forgotten garbage. The twist nobody saw coming. But just as Port Charles began to accept the unthinkable, rumors began to swirl. Whispers in the dark corridors of gossip suggested something that seemed impossible. The body might be fake. Forensic experts began examining the remains more closely. Details didn't quite add up. The decomposition seemed too advanced for the timeline. Certain characteristics didn't match Anna's medical records. Doubts began creeping in, first from specialists, then from journalists, and finally from the general public. Then came the revelation that sent chills down everyone's spine. Evidence emerged suggesting that the person behind Anna's kidnapping was someone who shouldn't have been alive at all. Faison, the man everyone believed was dead and gone, apparently was very much alive. And apparently, he had orchestrated the entire kidnapping. That's impossible, officials said, reviewing the evidence with growing horror. Faison is dead. We confirmed it ourselves. But the evidence was mounting. Security footage, financial trails, communications intercepted by cyber specialists. Everything pointed to one unavoidable conclusion. Faison had survived, and he had come back to Port Charles with vengeance on his mind. A deception unveiled. The working theory became clearer as investigators dug deeper. Faison hadn't just kidnapped Anna, he had orchestrated an elaborate hoax. The body Jason found wasn't Anna at all. It was a carefully constructed deception designed to distract everyone, to misdirect their attention, and to give Faison time to escape with his actual prisoner. He's playing games with us, Jason said, his despair transforming into focused rage. He always has. This isn't about Anna being dead. This is about Faison wanting us to think she's dead while he does something else entirely. The implications were staggering. If the body wasn't Anna, then where was she? What did Faison want with her? Was she still alive? Every question led to more questions, each one more terrifying than the last. Faison had always been obsessed with Anna, a dangerous fixation that had haunted her for years. Everyone believed his death had finally ended that nightmare. Now, the horrifying reality was becoming clear. Faison's obsession hadn't died with him. If anything, it had grown stronger during whatever time he had spent away from Port Charles. The hunt continues. With the revelation that Anna might still be alive, hope rekindled in the hearts of those who loved her. But hope came with a terrible burden. Time was running out. If Faison had gone to such elaborate lengths to deceive everyone, he must have a reason. He must have a plan. We need to find her now, Jason said, already planning his next move. Before Faison disappears again, before he takes her somewhere we can't reach. The investigation shifted into high gear. Police departments, federal agencies, and individuals working in the shadows all mobilized. Everyone in Port Charles suddenly understood the stakes. A master manipulator had returned from the dead, and he had taken one of their own. As night fell over Port Charles, the city held its breath. Anna was out there somewhere, in the hands of a man who had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Jason Morgan was determined to find her, and nothing, absolutely nothing, would stop him from bringing her home. The question now wasn't whether Faison was alive. That question had been answered. The only question that mattered was, would they find Anna before Faison's twisted game reached its final, terrible chapter? Port Charles waited for answers, and in the darkness, somewhere in the city, Anna's fate hung in the balance. Next, we will learn about the heartwarming Quartermaine legacy twist that has fans buzzing with nostalgia and joy. In a masterful stroke of storytelling, the General Hospital scribes nailed the emotional payoff this week by unveiling Monica Quartermaine's true intentions regarding the iconic family mansion. The drama unfolded after the web of deception spun by Martin Gray and Ronnie Domestico unraveled completely, leading to the much-anticipated reading of Monica's will in the grand, oak-paneled library of the estate. Viewers had been on the edge of their seats since the initial announcement, sensing an undercurrent of intrigue because it seemed utterly out of character for Monica, a pillar of unwavering family loyalty, to bequeath the sprawling Quartermaine house complete with its sprawling gardens, hidden wine cellar, and century-old chandeliers to Ronnie. a distant relative she'd only recently reconnected with after years of estrangement. Why overlook Michael Corinthos, her devoted grandson, who had stood by the family through countless crises, including corporate takeovers and personal heartbreaks? The air was thick with suspicion as the family gathered, portraits of past Quartermaines gazing down like silent judges. As the layers of forgery and manipulation peeled away, the revelation hit like a thunderclap during a stormy Port Charles night, and the show's execution was flawless, blending razor-sharp dialogue with powerhouse performances that left audiences breathless. Soap opera icon Jane Elliott, embodying Tracy Quartermaine with her signature blend of sharp wit and hidden vulnerability, delivered a reaction scene that will go down in GH history. Picture this: Michael's voice steady, but laced with triumph as he explains the real terms of the will, and Tracy's face, usually a mask of sarcasm, crumbles into wide-eyed astonishment, her perfectly manicured hands clutching the edge of the antique desk. It was a moment that captured not just shock, but a flood of long-buried emotions, evoking Tracy's lifelong quest for validation within the cutthroat Quartermaine dynasty. The camera lingered on the subtle tremble in her lower lip, a rare glimpse into the steel-hearted matriarch's softer side, making it impossible for fans not to cheer. This plot turned masterfully wove in the rich tapestry of Quartermaine lore, reminding longtime viewers of the epic saga surrounding the house itself, a symbol of power, betrayal, and redemption passed down through generations like a cursed heirloom. Flashback to the turbulent 80s, when Alan Quartermaine, in a bold assertion of his devotion, gifted the property outright to Monica during one of their infamous reconciliations after yet another affair scandal rocked the family. Tracy, ever the scheming eldest daughter, was apoplectic with rage, viewing it as a final slap from her father, who always seemed to favor Monica's poise over her own cunning resilience. The feud escalated into boardroom battles and late-night confrontations in the very halls now at stake, with Tracy launching proxy fights and even allying with the LQ rivals to reclaim what she saw as her birthright. Yet, in a twist of poetic justice years later, Monica, softened by time and shared griefs like the losses of AJ and Emily, quietly deeded it back to Tracy during a private moment over brandy in the study. It was a gesture of sisterly truce, unspoken but profound, acknowledging Tracy's unyielding stewardship of the family's legacy amid waves of dysfunction from Edward's iron-fisted rule to the modern influx of Casadini's and Corinthos' diluting the bloodline. For that fleeting, golden instant, harmony reigned in the Quartermaine realm, a rare oasis amid the soap's relentless tempests of secrets and scandals. The house, with its creaking staircases, whispering old arguments, and sunlit conservatory hosting tentative family teas, felt reclaimed not just as property, but as a beacon of enduring bonds. Fans, who've ridden every twist from the nurses' ball debacles to the Metro Court hostage crises, flooded social media platform X with unbridled elation, turning the moment into a viral celebration of closure. One devoted viewer posted a vintage clip of Tracy and Monica's heated exchange from decades ago, captioning it, "Full Circle Magic." It's officially Tracy's domain. Monica's gift seals the deal after all the drama. Another enthusiast gushed, "Cheers to the Quartermaine queens. Peace at last in that grand old house. Writers, you've given Tracy's loyalists the win we've craved since the Allen days. Her time to reign supreme has arrived." A third shared a screenshot of the emotional reveal, writing, "Hands down, the highlight of the episode. Tracy uttering those words, 'This is my house,' courtesy of Monica, brought tears. The survivor of every family war finally claims her throne. Priceless." Yet another chimed in, "No one earned this more than Tracy. Monica's true will rights every wrong. The house is hers by destiny." This resolution didn't just tie up a loose end, it amplified the Quartermaine women's unbreakable spirit, contrasting their sharp-tongued rivalry with underlying respect forged in the fires of loss and love. Imagine the post-reveal scenes, Tracy wandering the empty halls at dusk, fingers tracing the engraved family crest on the banister, a faint smile breaking through as she envisions future gatherings, perhaps a reluctant truce dinner with Michael, or Brooklyn plotting ELQ strategies from the very desk where Edward once ruled. Adding depth, the writers cleverly nodded to broader GH themes by having Ned overhear the truth, sparking his own reflections on inheritance and forgiveness, hinting at upcoming arcs where the house becomes a neutral ground for mending fences with outsiders like Sasha or even a returning Jason. Fans speculated wildly, with one theorizing this opens doors for Tracy to host a massive Quartermaine summit, pulling in Lois and Olivia for comic relief amid the drama. The emotional weight resonated deeply, evoking how the house has witnessed births, deaths, and everything in between, from Lilla's gentle influence to the explosive Metro Court fallout echoing through its walls. Years of on-screen clashes, Tracy's barbs about Monica's medical career clashing with her own business savvy, or Monica's quiet jabs at Tracy's string of failed marriages culminated in this validating pinnacle, proving that in Port Charles, justice often arrives fashionably late, but with impeccable timing. Tracy, the last Quartermaine sentinel standing against the tide of interlopers and tragedies, emerged not as victor in a war, but as guardian of a legacy reborn. Enthusiasts on X couldn't contain their praise, with posts like, "Monica's real heart shines through, leaving it to Tracy honors their shared battles, from the AIDS storyline to the baby switches. Emotional gold." Another added, "Tracy's house at last. After enduring Edward's favoritism and Alan's dramas, this is her crown. GH, keep delivering these gems." The outpouring highlighted how the scene transcended plot, touching on themes of sisterhood and perseverance that define the show's soul. In wrapping up this landmark week, the Quartermaine house stands taller as Tracy's rightful domain, a testament to Monica's enduring wisdom and the writer's knack for blending heartbreak with hope. Viewers are left pondering what fresh intrigues might unfold within those storied walls. Will it host alliances against the ever-looming Casa Dini threats, or spark new rivalries with Druzy LQ ambitions? One thing's certain, this gift from Monica to Tracy cements their complex bond, ensuring the Quartermaine saga endures with fire and finesse.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.